Try not to swear.
That's all right.
Turn it down a sec. So when we get the green light, still when you join the circuit, keep right and just check your mirrors before you merge to the left, just to be on the safe side as a double check. And then we'll just build up the pace gradually. You have got a brake board for this corner, and you can see the red arrow for the turn. So in this area we'll be doing our slowing down on the brakes. Now when you turn, we can aim for the middle of the road. We don't need this first apex board.
Okay.
If it's working for you, fine, but generally in a modern car we'd miss the first one, only worry about the second one. Perfect positioning along here, and you might find it easier to turn about half a car length before this red arrow to get better accuracy on the apex here. Do use the width by the green arrow and stay left, but now aim at the red arrow to come down the middle of the track, brakes, and then you'll ease off them and turn across to the yellow board. Only go to the middle of the road, because getting back to the right and brakes again before getting to the apex on the left. Squeeze the power as you pass it and unwind the steering to come out fully right where the green arrow is showing you. Over to the left now, firm brake, look through the corner. So we've got our first apex marker here. We're then going back out to the red arrow on the left. We then come back to within about a car width of this curb, and finally fully out to the green arrow on the left. Back to the right, worth checking your mirrors here before you cut across to the yellow board. Back out to the right just after the green arrow, mirrors, and at this dark patch of tarmac, start going left, aiming at the number 50 at the end of the straight. Brakes before that, and stay left between these two red arrows. So as you come off the brake, stay generally left. Tighten the turn now up to the apex board, unwind the steering, squeeze the power all the way up to where you now brake for the chicane. And you do need to be close to both sets of these kind of walls. You can see how easily you'd run out of road if you're a little bit too quick in, or if you miss that left-hand apex. There's no urgency to come back to the left when you come out of the chicane, so unwind the steering and run up the right-hand side towards where they normally wave the checkered flag. Brakes and stay left. Ease off the brake and try the middle of the road approach. Stay middle of the road here, and then peeling into the apex on the right. Out wide to the left by relaxing the steering. Bit of a deep breath moment, and then a smooth turn down to our apex on the right. From there out to the green arrow on the left. Stay left and on the power. Straight line aiming at the red arrow. So brakes, brakes. So here, remember, gentler brake for longer. Don't use the brake board, it's a bit late for that corner. Across to the yellow board, and make a straighter approach by coming in more towards the middle of the road. Otherwise you're turning and braking, which is difficult there. Firm brake here, firm brake. Again, don't try and get all your speed going into the corner by braking late. Back to within about a car width of this curb here. Now out wide to the left. Smoothly back to the right. Staying on the power, smooth turn across to the yellow apex board, then flow the car back out to the right, stay on the power, gradually merge back to the left by aiming at the 50. You end up just kissing this bit of curb on the left, then brakes, stay on the brake, and then ease off them. Use momentum in this section, but then tighten the turn and start adding the power as you pass the yellow apex board. And in the dry, the braking you can carry up to this point here. Just watch your speed, because if you get flung on the grass, you normally end up hitting something.
Right.
So I would say a little bit slower into that middle part of the chicane, and then as you come out of the chicane, have the confidence to straighten the car up more than you are. You're kind of pulling it left and scrubbing off speed because you feel we're going to be flung out too wide. Stay middle, and then we come back into this apex. Out wide by relaxing the steering, stay left. Half a car length before the red arrow, smooth turn down to the yellow board. Out wide to the green one. Stay left initially, but now you see the red arrow, aim for it. Brakes, brakes. ease off them and across to the yellow board, gently on the power. From the middle back to the right, firm brake. You should be looking for the apex. Squeeze the power as you pass it, and now let the car come out wide where the green arrow is showing you. Up the slope, head back to the left, and again brakes, get the speed off before we get to the turn point. Go wide where the red arrow is encouraging you. Back, close to the curb, and then fully out to the green arrow by you unwinding the steering. Smoothly to the right. You should already be looking ahead for your apex on the left. Back to the right, worth double checking your mirrors, and then if it's clear, start merging back to the left. That firm brakes, don't leave it too late, otherwise you lose that momentum aspect here. And don't come in too far to the right too soon, because you'll make this corner tighter, more difficult than it has to be. Close to the wall on the left, and as you come out the chicane, unwind the steering and run more up this right hand side. So previous lap a bit too quick, that one a bit too slow, so kind of somewhere in between. So here again, a squeeze of brake rather than too heavy. You'll ease off it and begin the turn. Go back towards the middle and then peel into this second apex, and then out wide to the exit. Smoothness here is key. Again, let the car flow out wide to the left. Then we're going to make that straight line, braking before the board. Ease off the brake, turn, and let the car go towards the middle. Now back to the right, firm brake, look through the corner, squeeze the power as you pass the yellow board, and then relax the steering to come out wide on the exit. Back over to the left, firm brake, and again look through the corner and patience on the power. Now you'll start to squeeze it, and that should be a long rounded corner here. If it's feeling like little short straights, like a British 50p piece, you're not quite looking through the whole corner enough. Cross to the yellow board, out wide to the right, and then merging back to the left. Just literally use the number 50 as a target, but braking before that. And stay left. As you come off the brakes, stay more left than you did, and that just opens up this final turn, makes it a bit easier for the car. Now unwind the steering and stay on the power, and then brakes, which you can carry, as I say, into the chicane, close to that wall, and then unwind the steering. Well done. That was basically really what you're looking for today, you know, fast but not any additional risk. Keep going left if it's clear, and then a squeeze of brake, ease off them to get the momentum. And what you can work on during the day is just shift that braking zone more down towards the red arrow. So at the moment we're braking a bit early and coming off them a bit early. You can just shift it down a bit towards the actual turn point. Smooth turn here, and about half a car width, a car length before that red arrow, not much more than that, because you'll run out of road on the exit. Brakes, so before the brake board, off the brake turn, gently back on the power, out to the middle and back to the right, firm brake. You should be looking for your apex. Let the car come out wide. Well done. Stay on the power all the way to where you then brake for the next corner, so brakes, and again be looking through the corner for your next reference marker. Out wide, keep gently adding the power, back to within a car width of this curb, and then out fully to the left where the green arrow is encouraging you. Smoothly back to the right, turn across to the yellow board. So obviously here you're just trying to travel the shortest route through that curve, and then gradually move back to the left by aiming at the 50. Good firm brake. Try and make that a little bit of a straighter line. Don't do that kind of jink where the circuit jinks, because you'll make the car a bit unstable then on the brakes. So when you get on the brake, you want to be going in a straight line. So keep this the same as the last lap. Straighten the steering, feed the power in, and then we've got a checker flag anyway. It's good.
All right.
you know, for a not ideal car, not ideal gears, it goes well. Really, where you're slower out some of the bends, where it feels and sounds a gear high, you know, for what you choose if you was doing it manually. Here, either option was working for you, either your both yellow boards or the missed the first one. So really just stick with what works for you. But remember to try and shift that braking a bit further down the track. Don't turn too early here, about half a car length, remember. Just back off the speed a touch, so stay left, but when you see the red arrow, aim for it. And you want to end up back on the left just before it, and that brake arrow is a bit late. So don't be surprised if you're braking about 4 to 6 car lengths before the brake board, but not heavy. So you still take good momentum into the corner. Your accuracy to that left-hand apex got better with laps, and that made room on the exit, so you had more confidence to then use that width. Here's good. You're not going to go any faster into here, because if you try, you're going to start overloading the front tyres and running out wide. It is important to start getting on the power just after that apex board and then keep adding it. If you come in too quick and it delays you getting on the power, you pay the penalty all the way down this straight. Straighten the kink as you were doing. And remember, here there's that dark patch of tarmac. That's your trigger here for starting to go left. You end up just kissing this bit of curb. You're aiming at the 50, but don't do that little kind of jink, because you want the car stable for when you hit the brakes. Stay left between the 2 red arrows, and that'll round off this final turn, make it easier. Then unwind the steering and just run up the left-hand side as you're adding the power. And the chicane was really that mix of, first cut laps you were very quick in, but then here you kept the lock on and we sort of darted over to the left. So that's going to obviously affect your speed coming out the corner. So I think perhaps a bit slower in the middle of the chicane.
Pull over here.
Keep going in, just stop past where the yellow lorry is, just behind that. So I think slightly slower in the middle of the chicane, but then on the drive out of the chicane, get the steering off so that you're actually picking up that speed nice and easy for the car. But overall, you know, there's nothing much to worry about or change or anything. Just keep doing what you're doing. Okay. All right. Just remember, let's say, don't get overconfident. Watch for tiredness. As I say, very unforgiving track here at Goodwood. All right. But overall, well done.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff.
All right. Have a good day.
Good to meet you. Take care.